Hello everyone, Ani here. Today we are going to be doing another vintage Springbok puzzle from my collection. This one is called Beauty by the Bushels. It's a fruit still life and it's been packed into two separate bags. The little one holds the corner pieces, the rest are in the bigger bag. This was done by the previous owner and this is my first time doing the puzzle. Today, I thought it would be fun to tell you the story about my puzzle journey. I've been told that I'm a very difficult person to get gifts for because I don't always want a lot of things. That's different when it comes to puzzles. Growing up, I would save money to get myself a gift for my birthday or for the holidays. A lot of times, these gifts would be puzzles. I remember going into Target and looking at the puzzle section. I mostly got myself landscape puzzles with the little village scenes. These villages would be set in different seasons, like winter snow, or summer, or fall, with different settings, houses, animals, and people going about their day. I loved watching all the puzzles come to life as I worked on them. As I looked at all the little details, it was like viewing a world unfolding in front of me. As you may notice here, I don't use the cover or the image from the puzzle box to do my puzzles. I like to just look at the puzzle and see how they unfold and connect. That's how I've always approached my puzzles. I know people do it different ways, but that's just the way that's more fun for me. I've tried speed puzzling, and as impressive as it is, it's just not for me. So as a young adult, when I moved to college, I moved around a lot, and with shared spaces, I didn't always have a coffee table or a place that I could set up a puzzle and use. So I took a few years of a puzzling hiatus. During this time, one of my friends and I somehow both realized that we loved to do puzzles. I felt so excited to meet another fellow puzzler, of course. We talked about how much we loved to do puzzles and said we should do one together. Unfortunately, we never found the time to do it together. Even so, that was the first moment I ever found a kindred puzzle enthusiast, so I'll always remember it. In everyday life, I haven't encountered people who like to puzzle as a hobby often. So it's pretty special when you do connect with someone over them. A few years ago, I moved into a new place and there was a pretty large-sized coffee table. The first thing I noticed was that it would be perfect for puzzles. So I asked my roommates if they would be okay with me using it for puzzles. They said yes, and pretty much the entire year that I was there would be a puzzle on the table that I was working on. That sparked my re-entry into the world of puzzles. The first puzzle that launched me back into puzzling was Juicy by La Paz. This is a fruit still life as well. I love the challenge of a fruit still life. They are so colorful with many textures, as well as ambiguous areas that add to the complexity of the puzzle. The second puzzle that I added to my collection was Mystic Maze by the Magic Puzzle Company. Each puzzle comes with a surprise twist ending, and the art is very whimsical. I highly recommend both companies if you're looking for interesting, good quality puzzles. But as any puzzle enthusiast will know, new puzzles are quite pricey, and I didn't have the budget to keep up with my puzzle appetite. After exploring a bit, I actually found some Facebook puzzling groups for puzzle exchanges. The first one I found was one where members would ship puzzles by mail to each other and exchange them that way, but this was also pretty pricey. I found that my city had a local Facebook puzzle group, and people would give away puzzles and exchange them for free. I also discovered free puzzle libraries in my city where anyone could pick up or drop off puzzles. That's how I got into the world of puzzle exchanges. My introduction to vintage Springbok puzzles came through a yard sale. I saw a poster advertising a very unique yard sale from someone who had hundreds of vintage Springbok and Eton puzzles to rehome. I had never done a vintage Springbok puzzle, so I wasn't sure what they would be like, but I went to the yard sale and saw all of these puzzles laid out, filling up table upon table. I left with a sizable amount of puzzles. They became the majority of my collection, and they were lovingly cared for by their previous owner, so I'm very honored to have them. I love the images, feel, quality, and random cut pieces that are hallmarks of vintage Springbok puzzles. Also, when I began traveling, I started buying puzzles abroad, so I have a few puzzles from Japan that are part of my collection. These puzzles are great souvenirs that remind me of the trip and are a nice way of getting unique puzzles. Also this year, I went to my first puzzle swap. It was so exciting to get together and exchange puzzles with a bunch of people who love puzzles as much as me. It was a very welcoming environment, and you could find quite a few gems at different events. Going from knowing no one else who did puzzles most of my life to being able to find such a vibrant community online and through the local puzzle swaps has been lovely. I highly recommend checking something like that out if you haven't yet. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoyed this puzzle time lapse and hearing about my puzzle journey. I would love to geek out more about puzzles with you next time. That's all for now. Please enjoy the rest of this video. Bye.